Chicago, 1690 Wvon. I'm Cliff Kelly, and it's not a bad day out. It's Tuesday, May 9th. We are on iHeartRadio. Simply download the app to your smartphone or tablet and take us with you wherever you are, wherever you're going. You can also go to Wvon.com. And when you do that, we always ask that you participate in the daily listener poll and view our current video. And, of course, you can call us direct, 773-591-1690. Yes, you can do that. And you want to do that. And he said, yes, of course. That was his response. Who is that, of course? It's none other than this wonderful gentleman. We love him so much. He is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is in our studio again. How are you, Brother Minister?
I'm fine, my dear brother. Thanks to you for permitting me to be on your show today, and thanks to all of your listeners. I'm very honored to see you again.
Listen, you're saving me. So many of my listeners, we have the most intelligent audience, in the universe. And you're saving me, Brother Minister, because they keep saying, when is the minister going to be back on? What's the matter with you, Cliff? Why don't you have that so? Everybody loves to hear you. And thank you so much for honoring us with your presence.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. It's just wonderful. And I asked the minister earlier, and he said his exact response was, of course. My question was, would you take calls? He said, of course. Anyway, as we always do, Brother Minister, I always first just thank you for being here and honoring us with your presence. But also I'd like to start off simply by allowing you to give us an opening statement.
Well, thank you, Brother Cliff. I'm very, very honored to have this opportunity to share a few words to your very intelligent, highly learned listening audience. America has entered a great time of trouble, and so have we. Our time of trouble is because we have not paid good attention to the messenger of God that he raised among us to warn us of the days that we are now witnessing. Days when factories close and long lines of persons looking for a job. And he asked us to get up and do something for ourselves before we were forced to do it. Unfortunately, we did not listen. And so now we are being forced by circumstances to do something for ourselves because our depending on others to do it for us will not work. The violence that has been going on incessantly in our community, getting worse and worse by the days, when we are slaughtering ourselves in unprecedented numbers, filled with self-hatred for each other, in a spirit of retaliation and revenge. You kill my dog, I'll kill your cat, as though there are no consequences for this behavior that we have warned us about for the last nearly 4 decades. We've been telling us that we're going to have to pay a price for this. So Mr. Trump has brought into his cabinet Mad Dog Mattis. I don't know about you, but dogs are so lovely as creatures that many of us who have dogs, we love our dogs sometimes more than we love our family members, because the dogs, when we feed them and nurture them, they love us and they'll never turn on us. But a mad dog is a dangerous creature. And to think of sending such a man with such a reputation into Chicago after he has asked our mayor and the police department you all better get this violence thing straight or we'll have to help you do it. And to help the mayor to do it, they're intending to come and search homes for weapons and kill those who would advance opposition, a slaughter. And in closing my opening statement, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, when the children of Israel rebelled against Moses and Aaron and did not want to leave their slave master to build an independent nation of their own under the guidance of God, then God chastised them with fiery serpents and cockatrices. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad asked me one day, do you know what it means, fiery serpents? I said, no, sir. He said, it means angry white people. Now white people are getting more and more angry every day. And as I said on this same wonderful program before Mr. Trump was elected, that the mask of civility, like an onion peeling off, is being peeled off, and now naked hatred, not only in word but in deed, is being openly shown to us. And so, my brothers and sisters, they will come in to chastise us, but since we are no longer forsaken and are the people of God, then God will answer whatever they do of evil to us. And I'm warning the government, and I am warning General Mattis and all those who would kill us outside of the law of justice, that the God of justice will pay you back in full.
Thank you, Brother Minister. Very strong opening statement. We have, you pointed out, obviously, one of our major problems with this person who is now recognized as our president. But not only do we have a major problem there, we have a problem with the state, we have a problem with the city. I'm talking about our people, all across the board. We've got a situation now, we don't have a budget in the state of Illinois. There's all kinds of problems going on. We don't even know, relative to the city, whether our children are going to be able to go back to school when they're supposed to, or whether they're going to have to leave early because of the lack of money. I'm speaking of, as you always do, and I read this great paper, you've probably heard of it, the Found Call. We've got these problems nationally, statewide, and the city. Where do you want to start?
Well, I'll start with the reality. If we're having problems nationally, we're having problems on the state level and then on the local level, what message is that sending to black people who are not supposed to be intelligent, but the grassroots understands what that means? In the time of Moses, it means buckle on your boots and shoes and let's get the hell out of here. As the boy said in the movie, it's time to get out.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. In the interim, what do we do relative to, before that happens? We've got a lot of people of all ages, Minister Farrakhan. Black Lives Matter has been a great group. Millennials are getting involved, as they should. Younger people. The social media has been good and bad. It's been good as far as organizing, but it's also, I think you would agree, it's been bad relative to gang warfare. A lot of that is totally based on, in fact, a lot of people are saying that now. So my question is, what do we do in the interim here? Because, you know, the nation has trained so many people to do so much good for so many others, including the nation itself. And we look toward the nation, many of us do, of course, and I know this and you know it, to give us some hope as to what we can do now. Do for self, yes. So what do we do?
The greatest gift of God to us today is right guidance. The enemy has money that he can throw at problems, but the problems never get solved because we're violating the good guidance and warning that God sent to us through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so now, what do we do? You mentioned earlier, we don't know whether we'll be able to go to school because of budgetary constraints. That might not be bad because the schools are not doing anything of value for our children in the first place. Jesus said you can tell a tree by the fruit it bears. And if the educational system of white America is good for us, where is the fruit from that system that says so? We don't produce jobs for ourselves. We've been here 462 years under tyranny and oppression. Where are our factories that produce the clothes we wear, the shoes we wear? Where are our farms that produce the food that we eat? Where are we producing jobs for our jobless people like other people are doing? The Chinese are not looking for a place at the white man's table. You don't see the Chinese picketing because they don't have a seat at a table. They make their own table. You go to Chinatown, you see any black people down there selling egg foo young? No. It's the Chinese in the black community. It's the Koreans in the black community. It's the Palestinians in the black community. It's the Indians from the subcontinent of India in the black community. Every refugee finds their American dream on the backs of the nightmare of black suffering in America. So no, I mean, I don't have anything to say about what they don't have a budget. That's not true. That's a lie. They won't give you nothing because in their minds, you don't deserve nothing. So if the schools close, to hell with that. Every church should be a school. And then we should take over the schools in our own community that they closed down. Open them up and then make the government give us our tax dollars that we pay for an education that we don't receive. Give us back our tax dollars that we pay for police who do not serve nor protect. Then maybe we can educate our people and make them a better people and make our communities a more decent and safe place to live. It's time to unite all of these little tribes that we have that seem to have joy in the little crumb that we get from this place or this grant and that grant, so you can rob the grant giver and not give to the people that they give you the money to help to serve. No, let's stop all of this foolishness and come together as a people, or we will deserve the chastisement of God that is about to come down, especially on the rich and the professional, well-educated black person who could make a way in the desert for our people, but you're so tied to your slave masters and their children, you don't want to leave them, nor do you want to lead your people into doing something for self. So we're at the end of it now. I don't know whether I'll ever be back on this great show again, but in the meantime, you better prepare your behind for the ass kicking that God intends to give.
I don't think, I think we will always be happy to have you on the show, Mr. Farrakhan. Let me ask you though, you made mention of something that I have been.
I meant butt kicking.
I got you. Something I've been talking about for some time. When I grew up here in Chicago, Mid-South, we had all kinds of black-owned businesses. All kinds of black-owned businesses. People supporting each other. And in fact, I was just telling the guest we had earlier, it was so odd because I got a call today because I was speaking of the fact that one of the worst things that has happened to us has been integration. Because when I grew up, there was nothing but black businesses. And then all of a sudden, people understood, oh, white folks will take our money too. And a lot of the black businesses closed. Gentleman called me as I was saying this, Minister Farrakhan, and said, listen, he gave the address, and he said, I am looking into a beauty shop. There are 5 black women in there, and there's not one black person who is serving. So this is something that I don't know what came about, but I do know we used to, speaking of that, you know one of my favorite restaurants was? I used to love it. Salam, right. Salam at 83rd and Cottage.
That's right.
I would go in there, and this is something that I'll never forget. You know, the brothers were just so great and so forth, and the food was excellent. And my server said, sir, would you like dessert? I said, well, what do you have? And he mentioned bean pie. And I'm thinking some beans with a crust over them. And I said, do you advise that? He says, yes, sir. I said, let's make a deal. Would you allow my saying about the bean pie to determine your tip? And he says, without a doubt. I ate the bean pie, gave him a big tip, and I've been eating bean pies ever since. But the point I'm making is even so.
I got the point.
Okay, thank you.
I got the point.
You got the point. We got a lot of businesses that existed and don't exist.
My dear brothers and sisters.
I want you to change. Hold on one second.
Yes,
Let's take a quick break. Minister Louis Farrakhan is with us in the studio. We're so pleased to have him. He said he would take calls, and those of you on the line, please hold. We got a few more things we're going to discuss before we do that. But right now we're going to take about a hour break, and we'll be back with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan right after this.
Live from the
Beautiful.
Wow.
I have a chocolate. More.
Everybody all right?
Yes, sir. Oh, no. Oh. You don't understand. You don't understand that.
Oh, man. You allow me to be myself.
And that's what I love. Do
Do
we need
That
another
was a
chair?
great statement.
I have no idea. Maybe we may have to.
On the right-hand side,
One.
We need to raise this.
on the right-hand side,
That's quick. Move over. Just don't stop.
right-hand side,
Move over. Come on over. Show it. Just a little bit. Just don't stop.
This should go up. That might be as high as this one goes. That one goes up higher though. if you want.
I'm all right.
But that's the lever, so that's the highest.
Just
But those seats go higher than this table.
just a little bit. Yes, sir.
Ooh.
I'm already at it.
Yeah, we want to.
Unless you want to stand or sit.
I'll move over.
Right now, it's about to start.
Well, listen, if I just.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I get this.
Hey, Minister, I want to get a picture. You want to click for social media. One, two. Oh, that's cute. 1, 2. Thanks. Yeah, they won't, because I can crop it. Thank you.
Next break.
Done that shit? I know.
You
Oh,
want 2 or 1? 2 or 1?
He's okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
He says the number of graffiti
Sounding good, gentlemen, sounding good.
Thank you.
Why?
I'm Robert Lewis, traffic and flight.
Is this far enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh, hi, it's Chris.
Are you unhappy with your smile or the alignment of your teeth? Look no further. Griffin
Well, I
Orthodontics
just started
specializes in
rolling
the
up
alignment of
the
teeth, also known as braces. Leveraging today's latest digital technology, Dr. Von Seal Griffin Burris and her highly trained staff can create results that change all look and feel. Whether you need braces for children or adults, Griffin Orthodontics offers a wide variety of procedures that uniquely fit your needs. In addition, their friendly staff ensures your visit to the orthodontist is affordable and comfortable. If you're searching for an orthodontist, look no further. There's two locations to conveniently serve you. Located in the Beverly area, 119 Southwestern, 773-239-7696. 773-239-7696. And the Hyde Park area, 1040 East 773-358-4350. That's 773-358-4350. Most insurance accepted. Griffin Orthodontics. The difference between you and your unforgettable seat.
That's the spirit that's on it right now.
Virginia Summer Festivals.
Yeah.
And tickets are
You're
on
okay.
sale right now. For your favorite
Oh, that's great.
Took my tape.
They asked me what you want to do, what kind of music you like.
We'll be right back.
I know you like Mendelssohn's Concerto.
I love it all.
I know you do. I know you, I know what you used to do before that, but you know Mendelssohn's Concerto.
and many more. Pack a picnic and kick back on Ravenna's lawn or see your favorite artists up close in their pavilion. It's the sound of summer under the stars of Ravenna. Get your tickets and check out their entire season calendar at ravenna.org.
Brother Dennis, you all right?
Jackson Hospital invites you to make an appointment at our newly enhanced state-of-the-art women's health department.
Well, you all look
You
so
can sit here and do
handsome.
my job if you like. You're doing a great job. All right. I love Brother Dennis. He's great.
Learn the importance of
How are you
proper
folks?
diet and nutrition
Wonderful.
for yourself and your baby. How to choose the right.
You know, I have this saying,
Different
it really gets
stages
me,
of
I have this saying that people laugh about, Brother Dennis.
Call
When you see all this crap that's going on, I say the human body
Make an appointment.
is the only complex machine that can be totally reproduced by unskilled labor. I've been in 8 weddings, and in 3 of them, even the wedding party was saying, "Damn, we hope they don't have kids."
Is it possible for someone else to understand you before you truly
Well,
understand
it
yourself?
doesn't take a lot of skill to do that.
Mystery
If you do the right, yeah.
insightful and very funny.
Well,
Matter of
you see
time.
now, I mean, some of the things you see now, though, you just wonder what the hell.
It's a great responsibility.
Yep.
Face to face with the challenges of loving someone completely while trying to understand exactly what that means. Writers Theater is just minutes from downtown Chicago on the Edens or Metro. For tickets to The Mystery of Love and Sex, call 847-242-6000. That's 847-242-6000. Or visit writerstheater.org.
This traffic report is brought to you by ChicagolandJiffyLube.com. Jiffy Lube offers speed and convenience. For a high-quality oil change featuring Pennzoil Motor Oil, stop by Jiffy Lube. Not just oil, Pennzoil. No appointment needed. Visit ChicagolandJiffyLube.com.
WVON, traffic and weather, now.
Still on the scene of an accident with injuries 95th and Stony Island Avenue. Meanwhile, traveling on the damn line, and it's a half an hour downtown to 95th, 43rd to the Sky.
I'm going to ask you about,
Express as well from Pershing to Marquette.
they did a study, and what Americans, according to this, are thinking about is the unthinkable, World War III. They talked by a lot of people when they think World War III, and they said if we have nuclear war, World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. You know?
No, the warmongers will be off the planet.
Yeah.
You won't need a stick nor a stone.
Yeah.
Oh boy. It's shaping up fast too.
I know. Well, you got two people there. You got, Trump, and you've got this guy from North Korea, who is, they've got a lot in common.
Does it matter? Does it make sense?
We used to sing a song as I was a little fella. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Nobody's afraid today.
How you feel?
Oh yeah?
Hey man, I made this day your birthday. This ain't your birthday.
No.
But I was arguing, telling everybody I'm going to say happy birthday.
I thought so too. I said,
Well, at least
because
I had
O'Neill
convinced you.
told me that I had a birthday.
Yeah, you had forgot. Yeah.
Coming out.
Good to see. Oh, this is my adopted son down there.
How you doing, brother, man?
Thanks, sir.
Says everybody
Good
else is
afternoon,
adopted.
good afternoon. This is the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. I'm Cliff Kelly, and of course we are on iHeartRadio. All you need to do is download the app to your smartphone or tablet and take us with you wherever. You can also go to WVON.com. And when you do that, we always ask you to participate in the daily listener poll and, of course, view our current video. And you can call us direct, 773-591-1690. And that's because our great guest, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, said, of course I'll take calls. So we're going to do that in just a moment. He gave us a great opening statement. We've had some comments since, of course. And I tell you...
But you close with a question.
Yes, go right ahead. Thank you.
I would like to try to answer.
Please.
You know, my dear brother Cliff, and to all of our wonderful listeners in Chicago and beyond, segregation was ugly, but we made something good out of something ugly. Because since we were not welcome in other places run by white people, we were forced by circumstances to let our dollars circulate in our own communities. And so we had the convenience stores, we had the supermarkets, we had the bus stations and all the things that white folk had, we had our own.
Right.
So most of the people after emancipation, with two quotes behind it, moved to the north. So Chicago is one of those great cities that it's really up south, north, because most of the people that came here came from Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and other places south. And when they came here, it was segregated. So they knew that wherever they settled, they had to do something for themselves. So when you were young and I was young, there was a plethora of black businesses. But when white folks said, yes, come and spend your money with us, then we ran downtown when we could only pass through downtown. Now downtown got our money. We used to have an all-black baseball team, all black stars. And when white folk took Jackie Robinson and brought him into the major leagues, that was the beginning of the crushing of black baseball teams and leagues. Right. So here we are now, several decades up from that. Where are the black businesses? They're not here. So the Koreans are here, the Chinese are here, the Arabs are here, the Indians are here. Everybody that wants to make a dollar is making a dollar on our lack of thought to do something for ourselves. That was not present in that older generation that came from the South. So here we are now. The trade schools closed, so young black men don't know how to build a house or put a roof on a house or build cabinets anymore. We used to go to school to learn how to make ourselves useful in the trades. Then a man by the name of Galton, a Jewish fellow, brought trade people from Eastern Europe. And then the union started and kept us out. So yes, we're having a problem on the national level, on the state level, and on the local level, because it's telling us that the white man don't want you no more.
Go ahead,
You have no place in his house anymore except to be a little flunky around the door. So when you get enough of that, and that foot gets in your behind, will you get up and do what God wants you to do? And what does God want us to do? As he did with the children of Israel in Egypt, he wanted the children of Israel to separate into a state or territory of our own.
Yes, sir.
So now, you're going to have to decide. Some of you want to stay, stay. Some of you want to be white, be white. But we want to be ourselves. We want something that we can pass on to our children other than a cheap job and a hustle, selling drugs and pimping our women. We're tired of what the enemy has made of us, and now we must begin to make something of ourselves.
Yes.
One of the examples that I use all the time, Brother Minister, you just mentioned, because this was such a shame. Branch Rickey was not a guy who just wanted to do good things. He saw all that money that the Negro Baseball League made.
Right.
And then, of course, bringing in Jackie Robinson. And this is what got me, because in the major league, when a black team would play a major league team, the black team would win.
That's right.
Joe DiMaggio even said that the best pitcher that he had ever batted against was Satchel Paige. That's right.
Yes.
And all of those Babe Ruth and all those crackers ought to have an asterisk there for any record they have, because they didn't.
No, leave white people alone with what they've earned. They earned that. But
let me just say this.
Go ahead, brother.
We are trying. No, I just want to go back with you. Dunbar High School has always been there for exactly what you're talking about, and they are giving them a hard time right now. In fact, we help get out the word because they've got some great black folks over there, particularly some ladies with the LSC, the local school council, who are trying to make sure that the Board of Education does the right thing in teaching these young black folks trades, because they're needed. So this is the sort of thing, I understand what you're saying, but that would take some time. What I want you to do now is, we got to save these folks who are out here on the street right now, Brother Minister. And
we don't need a lot of time.
That's what the nation is all about.
We don't need a lot of time.
Okay, tell us what we
What we need is the unity necessary to cut time short.
All right.
See, you're powerless, and that's why it takes a lot of time. Because I'm over here doing my thing, you over there doing your thing, somebody down the street doing their thing, but our thing should be one thing,
Yes, sir.
and that is the liberation of our people totally.
Yes,
and we can't do that as long as we're divided and envious of one another. We're like little stupid children, like a dog around the foot of a master. He keeps kicking you away, and you keep coming back for more. No, we don't need a lot of time. We need to recognize what Elijah Muhammad said. Listen to his words. We are a nation in a nation.
Yes, sir.
Why not use these 22 million at that time, 50 million people's power for their eternal salvation instead of temporary enjoyment with the same wicked people who murder our people? Let us build our own political machine.
Yes, sir.
You've been in the Democratic Party. You got nothing. We were Republicans at one time. At least we had a fake declaration of, what do you call it, emancipation. No, if you and I unite with that man, and that man is Elijah Muhammad, the messenger Messiah, and with the help of Allah, he said, I will get you what you want, and I know what you want, for I am your brother. Now think about this.
Come on now.
If we are united, now look at this. I wouldn't care nothing about no white school board getting me a little something. To hell with the school board. That's the white supremacy board. And the white supremacy board wants you reading stupid books rooted in the idea of white supremacy. I don't want a thing to do with white supremacy. I want to deal with the truth and a proper education that will not allow us to be educated and then come out and beg another man for a job when you should be creating a job for yourself. So yes, school book, bless their hearts. But if you understand that we have become a nation, in a nation, 50 million people, you got nations now in the UN with 70,000 people. You got nations in the UN with 12 to 14 to 20 to 30,000 people. We're a nation, and the one thing we don't have is land that we can call our own. We don't want to integrate with these people. We're tired of being with them. We want to be with ourselves in a land of our own, under the guidance of God. And let me tell you, brothers and sisters, you are going to get the worst chastisement that you have ever received from God, because good guidance has come to you and you have thrown it aside. For what? To get a crumb at your master's table, to be accepted by your master, to open the door for your master and beg your master to open the door for you. Yes, he let you in to play football. But when we had all black scholars and football players in the HBCUs, white folks started scouting HBCUs. That's where they got our great brother at the Chicago Bears,
Walter Payton.
Walter Payton. They got him from Jackson State, Mississippi. They got a lot of black players. The white boy in Alabama said, damn, look at this. These black folks can really play ball. Right. So he started bringing black talent into Auburn, black talent into, what's the name of that other school? Alabama State. And all of a sudden now, the so-called Negro became the star and started filling up stadiums. Right. And all we got was a jive scholarship for no real good education.
Brother Minister, before we take calls,
the hell with that.
I just want you to say fact.
Go ahead,
everybody who would say, hey, he's right. How do we achieve this?
First thing we got to do is recognize the time.
Come on now.
We're at the end of the time of the white world to dominate black people and original people all over the planet. Can't you see that?
Yes.
Can't you see that the God of justice is whipping the hell out of America with the storms, with floods, with hail, with hurricane, with tornadoes? Can't you see that things are happening? So yes, the clouds of war are gathering. Trump is the right man in the right place in the White House for white people at the time of the end of their power to rule over us. He's going to bring it on. So I say, go ahead, Mr. Trump. Bring it on. Yes, because this is the war to end all wars. No warmonger will live after this one jumps off. And the people that I'm looking at, they're no longer afraid of the big bad wolf. So you can bring your mother of all bombs. You can bring everything you think you got to fight against God and the original people of our planet, but you will lose miserably. You better go back and read your Bible and read your Holy Quran, because Satan can't exist after this war. The devils will not exist after this. And if you exist, you will exist by God's permission. Take it or let it alone.
Yes, sir.
I think I mentioned this to you. I'm not sure we were on the air. It might have been while we were on a break, Brother Minister. I was talking about that there was this questionnaire, and Americans are thinking about the unthinkable. Unbelievable numbers of people are thinking about World War III. Is that anything that you are bringing about?
I can't bring it about.
I mean, with your comment.
I
Is
don't
what
have
you're
that
thinking?
juice,
No,
but
I'm talking about, is that what you think relative to what you're saying?
I know. Before the Honorable Elijah Muhammad departed from us, we sat at his table and he ran down what is about to go down. That is war.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to America, look, you should do everything you can to hold off this war.
Mm-hmm.
Because every day that you hold it off is a day good for you. But if you rush ahead, like you're doing right now, why are you bothering with Kim Jong-un?
Yeah.
Why are you bothering with him?
Korea.
Well, he got atomic nuclear weapons he's trying to get. You got them all, don't you?
Come on now.
All your white buddies that have been giving hell to black people all over the earth, don't they have them too?
Yes, sir.
Didn't you help South Africa to get them?
Yes, sir.
What did you give it to South Africa for? You know there's a time coming that you're going to want to use them. Use them against who? The rise of the black man all over the planet. But you'll never stop our rise. We
Yes,
got
sir.
something for you.
Yes, sir.
Listen, now, I'm not joking. I don't play with this. You have no power today to stop God from dealing with you the way the prophet said he would. I'm only representing my teacher, a warner from God. You can take it or let it alone.
Come on.
But I will speak the truth. I don't give a skip who don't like it, because I'm not trying to be your friend. I'm trying to warn you that I may be the friend of God.
Yes, sir.
How can we prevent this?
You can't.
You were talking about what we ought to do, Brother Minister. We
You
as
can't
black people.
prevent World War III.
Okay.
You can't. You don't have no juice.
Okay.
In fact, World War III will free you. Right now in the Caribbean, they have land. They have common culture, common history, common heritage, common ancestry, speak a common language. They have land, but they're not sovereign. They're not free. So my Jamaica is now a colony again. My Barbados, my Trinidad, my West Indies, all of you bowing down to the international monetary fund and what and the World Bank, bowing down because of money. So America tells you you can't get a loan if you don't support same-sex marriage. What the hell is that to an African, to a black man? That is not our culture. So you want to force us into behavior that is against God. No. To hell with you and your money. In fact about it, your dollar is going to explode in your face. How in the heck can the Federal Reserve give you $85 billion a month for nearly 5 years to prop up this facade that you are rich? You ain't rich no more. You a debtor nation. $20 trillion in debt and growing every minute of every hour of every day. Nobody wants your dollar today. So what is it in Russia?
Ruble.
The ruble. The dinar. Why did you kill Gaddafi? He had 140 tons of gold and the same in silver. He wanted to link his dinar to gold. That would ruin France if we linked our money to gold. So they killed Gaddafi. but you can't kill the idea. Your time has come.
Yes, sir.
If I never speak again on any radio, or if God silences me tonight, I will have told you the truth, and I'll go to my grave knowing that I and my teacher will be the winner in the end.
Yes,
every knee is going to bow, and
Yes,
every
sir.
tongue is going to bear witness that there is no God but Allah.
Yes, sir.
And Muhammad is his messenger. Take it or let it alone.
So the survey
Yes,
that I
sir.
mentioned earlier, Brother Minister, that World War III is what Americans are thinking about. And evidently,
Well, they're
a
right.
lot of people, yeah, that's what you're saying.
They're right. Look, in Europe right now, they're worried because the birth rate of white people is down below 1 birth, 1 death. Muslims have come into Europe from the countries that Europeans have colonized. And they're wanting to be Europeans, but Le Pen, she lost,
Yep.
but she wants to put out all the Muslims.
Right.
Go on back to your own country.
That's right.
That's written in the Bible. Every man will flee to his own and find refuge under his own vine and fig tree.
Come on.
Well, are you going back to Africa? Let me tell you something, white folks.
Come on now, Mr.
Wherever I am, I'm at home.
Yes, sir.
It's you that's the stranger on the planet.
Go ahead,
Where
Minister.
will you go?
Come on, Minister.
We are a nation with a capital N. No end for us. Yours is a small end. It had a time to start, and we are at the end of it now. Take it or leave it. You better leave us alone. And if you are wise, you better sheathe your weapon or you'll die with it in your hand.
Go ahead,
Brother
Minister.
Minister Farrakhan is with us. We're going to take a break.
Go ahead, Minister.
We'll be back. And I'm probably a little bit holding on the phone.
He's
We'll
the
go to phone calls when we come back. I'm Cliff Kelly. Stay with us.
Yeah. Damn, I didn't know God was going to leave.
Why don't you say what you really mean?
that was so
I'm sorry. You know, Cliff, when you invite me, you allow me to be more me.
Yeah.
And even though I'm going to get in trouble with white folk for being more me, yet I'm all right. I don't care if they hate me. And I don't care if they want me dead. I understand. But your desire, their desire to want me dead is putting them on God's A list for destruction.
According to a statement from
Come and get me if you want to.
answer, President Trump informed Comey today that he's terminated and removed
We ain't going nowhere. We're at home. Wherever the black man is, he's at home. That's right. That's right.
President Trump called the FBI one of our nation's most cherished and respected institutions, and that today marks a new beginning for our crown jewel of
What
law
is
enforcement.
wrong with
This afternoon,
Farrakhan?
FBI Director will be
Nothing, sir.
I think it must be this thing I got on. I better change.
Black and white.
Budget Office is healthcare reform. So it's going to be an
Oh,
Yes, I
man.
just sent a request, but you gotta accept the one.
rules or you have to get one. But then it's a very, very difficult job, given the fact that
For me to
Third
accept
World
that, I
War.
have to shut live off.
What's
and
that
accept
on
it
that
and come
for?
back. When they're done,
I think it's gonna
when they
take.
shut off and come
You
back.
want to say anything about Trump?
Come already at 15.
About the country and you just want to
Is this a
Because I know why he wants to do it. And ask me about that.
The number of available jobs is holding steady. The Labor Department says there
Wow.
are 1.7 million jobs.
If she adds you, it's a sheriff from her. Will that work?
fired.
Yeah, that's what it says up there. That's amazing.
Yes, because you
Yeah, I'm friends.
After he put him in office. Hey, Comey's the reason we got that ass as the president.
Oh man, if Satan keep casting out Satan, the kingdom ain't gonna stand too long.
That's amazing.
See, and when you fire a man like that, he know much more than he been saying.
That's right.
After he came out talking about we're reopening the case against Clinton 10 days before the election.
Well, she wasn't gonna do no better for us.
It may not be, but I'm talking about what he did. The FBI has always been full of shit. And that's being nice.
Run, tell that.
When they had that Mississippi Burning movie, those FBI agents were doing in their suits, and at night they had on white sheets and shit. You know what I mean? Everybody knows what the FBI is about. As long as they got J. Edgar Hoover's name on that building,
It's still his.
Yep.
Allahu Akbar.
Healthy reminders and medical experts all month long with no copay.
Great to have you here, brother, man.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Mary Hospital, St. Bernard Ambulatory Care Center,
Jesus, I thought I was gonna retire. To give him guidance, stepping back, you know. But I gotta keep firing at Will. That's right. Until Will has no more life left in Will.
Everybody all right? Yes, sir. Okay. Thanks for being here.
I'll go do it.
Nobody bought a bean bag. Maybe a stereotype.
Only other thing you could
Yeah, I know. I remember.
Yeah.
I was telling you, I don't know if you heard it earlier. Did you hear? Yeah. My first bean bag was in Salon.
Boy, on the horizon.
Yes, sir. So you put the Jonathan won't be inside.
Okay, you want to do it like that? Okay, I got you.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still coming?
No. We can't. Yeah.
That's why I thought you said
No, Jonathan.
This man can take 3 hours.
Jonathan says, you know, I would like to come just to listen. I said, but you got a radio.
Yes.
They can accommodate another 300 students every year. That means 300 more kids from our community will get the public education they need to be the doctors, scientists, and engineers of tomorrow.
Who says
We
so?
need the support of Alderman Mix to allow Spirit to add seats and serve more kids. Alderman Mix, on behalf of my son and all the families in Austin, please say yes to the Spirit Academy expansion.
I
Our
just
children
remember
need
all
your
those
support.
great black businesses, jazz.
We had it all. We had everything. Right in Chicago. What's that community?
Right now.
Off of South Park it was. Not Chatham. Brownsville.
I was thinking about the jazz showcase.
We had some of the best jazz artists, singers, gospel.
I saw them on Channel 7
Everything.
them on speed dial 773
Now we're making a lot of money for white colleges,
What's her name?
universities, in football and basketball. And you ask how many of those that did that for white schools had an education that they could put into economic development for themselves and their families. And if they went to the NBA or the NFL, Ask them how long after injuries and whatnot did their money last. Why are so many of our great athletes broke now?
That's right.
That's why I hated Mr. Farrakhan. I hated the Dallas Cowboys because I
You want me
knew
to say
somebody who
password?
played for them. And they would shoot those guys up and say, get out there.
Not now.
You know what I mean? I mean, if they had
Well, come right in.
They not only
crazy
did
guy
it,
with the hat,
They said come here.
Tom Landry. Yeah, Tom Landry. That's right. He was a total ass.
but they not only did it then. You know, how many basketball, baseball, and football teams out there?
Notification.
Are the owners of those teams?
The little globe at the bottom.
No, I keep going to it.
Now,
No, this my page.
they used to be on the plantation. We would come stand on the block.
You think you're going straight to the ad?
And they would squeeze you behind and
That's right.
open your mouth, give me,
That's right.
show you, you know, look at this muscular nigga here. What can I get for him?
That's right.
Now you running up and down the field, catching a ball, dodging, ducking, running, jumping. Look, nigga jump. He's gonna be first in the draft. To play
Oh,
for
you had
who?
it. You did
Somebody
it.
don't give a damn
Said you-
about
said
it.
you-
Get concussion and keep playing. Shoot you up with a painkiller and keep playing. Because you're back on the plantation again, but you just rich. For a minute. They never have taught us how to hook up our wealth with each other like they
Thank
do.
you. I really appreciate it.
So all you can do is put up a baseball or basketball court in the community as your legacy.
Come on, Brian.
We don't need no more damn basketball courts.
Come on.
We need factories.
That's right.
We need farms.
That's right.
We need agribusiness.
That's right.
We need to be at the community corner to see what's coming in our community and stop it.
That's right.
What's in your truck?
That's right. Come on.
That kind of garbage you selling?
Right.
Who you selling it to? Get it out of here.
That's right.
Intelligent white people do that. They don't allow you to bring junk in and sell it to their people.
That's correct.
Why should we allow it in our community if we're a self-respecting people?
That's right.
Say that's me.
Liquor store on every corner.
Man, don't go too far now.
No, I'm going further. I didn't go far enough.
Listen, my major source, my major drug is caffeinated coffee.
Oh.
And a friend of mine at my birthday a couple of weeks ago bought me a coffee liqueur, and I kept it there in the kitchen, and I told him somebody's breaking into my house because my liqueur is going down, you know. But it really does something, you know. Here we go, folks.
Okay.
Good afternoon. This is the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. I'm Cliff Kelly, and of course we are continuing with our in-studio guest, the Minister Louis Farrakhan, and we are just so pleased to have him here. He has been giving us a lot of information. As you know, we are on iHeartRadio. All you need to do is download the app to your smartphone or tablet and take us with you wherever. You can also go to WVON.com, and when you do that, we always ask that you participate in the daily listener poll and view our current video. And you can always call us direct, 773-591-1690. I got another question, but I'm going to take some of these calls first because they'll think that I'm a fabricator. I don't want them to think that. Sel, you've been holding, and thank you so much for calling.
Wa alaikum salam.
Okay, all right, so.
Well, let me thank you, my dear brother, for what you're doing. We're truly brothers in faith and brothers in deed. May God continue to bless you and make you and those with you successful in what you're trying to do to clean up our communities and make them a safe and decent place for us to live.
Absolutely, Sal, and happy birthday to you. Bernard's calling from the south side. Hi, Bernard. Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Bernard.
Thank you, brother. We just have to keep teaching our people. The veil of ignorance has to be lifted from our people in order for our people to act responsibly. We are victims of ignorance, and the enemy and his imps take advantage of our ignorance to live in luxury on our pain. So to make our people wise, to teach them the knowledge of self that will give them self-love, self-determination, self-worth is the first step. The second step is not to think of ourselves in the terms of Hebrew, not necessarily Hebrew, Muslim, Christian, Jewish. Think of ourselves as the original people of our planet who have the very nature of God as our nature. And that nature is revolving around three principles of life itself. The number one principle, freedom. The number two principle, justice. The number three principle, equality. And if we submit to the law of God and the laws of nature under which the God of nature has given us birth, then we will grow into that natural power as members of the Creator's nation. So keep teaching what you know, brother, but let us not separate ourselves from each other by terminology. Hebrew, Muslim, Christian, Jew. Just say we are the original people of our planet, of the Creator's nation. And all we got to do is operate naturally from that gift of his nature.
Okay. Let's go to Sister Darcel, who is calling from Coastal Carolina. Hi.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you.
And Thank you so much for calling, Sister Cartzell.
It's
Appreciate
more
it.
than a pleasure to speak with you and to hear your comments. First, I don't know anything about an invitation to speak with Mr. Trump. I do know this, that in the Holy Quran as well as in the Bible, God gives a directive both to Moses and Aaron. And he says to the both of them, go you both to Pharaoh. I have given you both an authority. And if you notice the way I speak, I don't speak like somebody that doesn't have authority to say what I'm saying. You don't need to send people to talk to Mr. Trump who don't know what time it is.
Go ahead, Minister.
But if there should come a time that I would talk to the modern Pharaoh, I know exactly what to ask for.
That's right.
I'm not asking for Negro tidbits.
Go ahead, Minister.
I'm asking for what God wants.
Yes, sir.
Land of our own and
Yes,
a
sir.
good send-off after we've given you 400 years of our sweat, blood, and tears, and received in return some of the worst treatment ever afforded to a human being. So, my dear sister, run for office for the 3 hours and then the other hour of racism. But until we recognize what Elijah Muhammad said, and you know prayer answers much of everything, but Elijah Muhammad said it is better to talk about separation than prayer. Because if you praying and then living with the devil, how in the hell will you get right?
Go ahead, Minister.
So prayer is important, but separation is what needed to be said today. Thank
Sister
you for your
Darcell,
question.
Sister Darcell also asked me about Trump. You are aware that Omarosa would like
Yes,
to be.
I am. And I'm so proud of that sister, Omarosa. I heard today for the first time what she said on WVON with Brother Mays and his partner, Thomas.
Charles Thomas.
Yeah, Charles Thomas.
Charles Thomas.
Right.
That's the same Charles Thomas that was
ABC.
Yeah, on ABC.
but ABC.
Great guy.
Yes, my great brother. Well, anyway, I'm on this talk radio, and this is my favorite man, but maybe I'll come back and visit Mays and brother there. But let me say this about Miss Omarosa. We sent our brother, Barack Obama, to the White House. Many of you that voted for him as I did and campaigned for him, we didn't get access, and many of our people felt bad. But Barack Obama put as a doorway for himself our dear brother Al Sharpton. And some farmers came to me one day and they wanted access to President Obama. I said, with all due respect, sir, I don't have that kind of juice to get you a meeting with Mr. Obama. But since Al Sharpton is a doorway to him, I will write Al Sharpton and you go and put your plea to him. They did exactly what I told them, and Mr. Sharpton evidently got them a hearing. Here's my point. Sometimes you may not like the door. Maybe the knob is a little funny. Or maybe the door is not made of the material that you would like to go through. But when God gives you a door, if you want access, you go through that door.
Yes, sir.
People didn't like Jesus. Oh, they had all kind of reasons to hate him. But Jesus said, I am the door.
That's right.
Any man who enters must come by me. If you don't come by me, he said, you're a thief and a robber. Well, if Miss Omarosa is the door to Trump, well, I kind of like that door. That's a pretty door. That's an intelligent door. That's a spiritually rooted door.
Go ahead, Minister.
So whenever I think Mr. Trump is ready to hear what I have to say, now he must know that when I speak, I am not just speaking for Louis Farrakhan and a few Negroes.
Yes, sir.
You got to know who I represent.
Go ahead, Minister.
I represent God,
Go ahead.
Allah,
Yes, sir.
who came in the person of Master Farrakhan Muhammad, the great Mahdi. And I represent his messenger Messiah, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I don't need to say any more. Just who I represent should let you know that you're going to have to hear from me sooner or later.
Go ahead,
And
Minister.
listen, when you do talk to him,
No, I don't say when.
I say when you do,
Yeah.
please let him know that Andrew Jackson, he said if Andrew Jackson had been there before the Civil War, he would have prevented it. Andrew Jackson owned 175 slaves and tried to kill all the indigenous people.
Yes.
You know, it's just unbelievable that you could have somebody in that kind of position who is as ignorant to history as he is. But
well, you don't count. That's the point he's making. If Andrew Jackson is his man, and he had 175 slaves and killed off as many Indians as he did, well, aren't you still in the position of the children of slaves? Yeah, so you don't count. So the hell with what you think. He wants Andrew Jackson, so he got him up in the White House.
well, that's
And
what
then now,
worries me
man,
about when he says
have Dr. King up there?
make America great again. Maybe that's the area he's talking
No,
about.
he want to make America white again.
That's my point. Make America
And he's
great again
on the
back-
road.
Back then, that's what I'm
He's
saying.
on the road.
Yeah.
See, look, brothers and sisters, you got to wake up and know that you don't count. Except when it's time to count a vote, or when it's time to pay your taxes, or when it's time to fight their wars. Other than that, you don't count. They gave you the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments. They enforce none. They promised us 40 acres and a mule. What did you get? Nothing. So all they can do now is promise you what they don't even have the will or the power to grant. So go and sit down and beg for some more crumbs from the master's table. That ain't Farrakhan.
That's right.
And by the way, Mr. Nixon, when he was president, he invited my teacher, Elijah Muhammad, to the White House. Elijah Muhammad wrote him a letter and said, my home is at 4847 South Woodlawn Avenue. You are welcome to visit me at any time. You don't go and beg Pharaoh for nothing. That's right. We go telling Pharaoh what God wants.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Finally.
Thank you.
All right, Lee. Thank you so much.
My dear sister, thank you so much. You preach a good gospel. We do need to love one another as the scripture teaches, but we also need to know why we hate. See, it's not just that we are so stupid that we hate each other. The enemy has been our teacher for 462 years.
Yes.
And what he has done, my dear sister, is put himself in us. I want you to think about what I just said. It is not your mind that's speaking most of the time. It's his mind speaking through us. That's why you don't want to leave him. And that's why you love him, though he ain't worthy of being loved. So now look at this. Here's what Jesus said. Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second commandment is like unto that. Love your neighbor as yourself. Now, maybe you're one of those that can live in a white neighborhood. But those of us who have tried that, we haven't been too welcome. So who's your neighbor? Who's your neighbor in the hood? And why don't you love your neighbor? It's because you don't love yourself. And you can't love yourself until you have a proper knowledge of yourself. Then you'll know why it is easy to love you when you know you and know the God that created you. So we got a lot to talk about, but we'll start right there. You were right, sister. We got to love each other, but you just can't say it. You got to do that which produces it, and that is giving people the knowledge of self, the knowledge of God, the knowledge of the enemy of God, the knowledge of the time and what must be done. If you give our people that kind of knowledge, then there is no veil of ignorance covering our eyes. Then we'll act like an entirely new people. And by the way, my sister, remember this scripture of Paul. Be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye what? Transformed by what? The renewal of your mind. Because the mind that we carry is the mind of our enemy. The mind that we must carry is the mind of God and his Christ. And that's why Jesus said, let this mind, or Paul said, let this mind be in you, the same that was in Christ Jesus. So when you got God's mind, you know how to love and you know how to deal with what ain't worthy to be loved. And by the way, when Jesus comes back, the scripture tells me he ain't coming back to love, because he got a sword in his hand and it's dripping with blood, and he's coming at the head of 10,000 saints who are here to take care of a little business. Let's hope that you're on the right side of that sword.
Go ahead.
We'll be back in just a moment with more.
Go ahead, Mark.
Let's get the ladies out of here.
I'm stirring up trouble.
It's at 5:30. Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan began an interview with Deb Kelly with an opening statement. He talked about how circumstances of course.
Can't believe they fired Comey. That's great.
Yeah, well, thank you. Give me the it's 5 cents a day.
Yes, the calculation for that.
Okay.
We have on the website. Per day.
That's moving.
Hey, Doc. How you doing?
How are you, sir?
Blessed because I've listened to your words on the way in.
Love you, man.
By the way, my gentleman, he's a doctor. He's a physician and also a colonel in the service.
Oh, he's a good man.
Oh, he's a
Even
wonderful
us.
man.
We need that discipline.
I had something to ask you because I've been having holiness in my house, and I said I had to buy a special pen.
Oh,
That's one of your
Doctor, give me your name.
Oh, Damon Arnold. Damon, D-A-M.
Dr. Arnold. So, but then, you
Right, every day, especially my daughter.
Oh, that's great. That's great. He used to take care of me all the time.
Babylon is falling, brother.
This man helped me when he was over at the publication.
Oh, internal medicine and occupational medicine. Actually, I do not have a card with me, sir, but I can.
I need to know where you are.
Are you on the south side? Yes, sir.
I like how your iPad got that. That's a nice shot. I like that.
It's easier than the phone.
Yeah, that's real.
You don't have to.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I pray for you every day.
He tried to do
Oh, no, he's with the
racial and seeds and it ate up my innocence. So I'm lucky to be alive, but I have a bag on this side and a bag on this side. Bob, black sheep. Have you hit it, wool? Doggone right, I got this bag full.
You know, there was a, I'm telling you,
Brother you talked to, his name was Sal from the LLC with the red black ring.
Thank you.
I was asking for my pen back. Oh, yeah, thank you. Are you gonna wait for me? Yeah, okay.
What time are we going on? This is on
6 o'clock.
6. 25 minutes. Can I hang out with you?
Sure. Sure, we can hang out.
I got 25 more
What kind of question is that? Can he hang out with you? Sure you can.
Wow.
Would somebody, who's over there?
Is it sharing?
Yeah, so you're good. Y'all rolling on our page. Thank y'all so much.
Most definitely.
Yeah, y'all rolling. But I'm gonna do a little bit like on Instagram. Like
Yes, ma'am.
I want to screen those calls.
How
and
you
stuff,
doing,
but I don't
Richard?
When
you taking care of business.
What that?
Tell him we ready.
I just told Ishmael about that yesterday. We can work on him.
Get the job done. He's a great doctor. And you need to do it as quickly as possible and get well. Because I'm seeing signs that I don't like. I want you healthy and strong. We do not need to miss you. You've been a great help. Is it? Yeah. I don't know what I'd do after you, brother.
We'll do our best to make sure
I choke on the damn peppermint.
No, sir. You can't have that.
Put some peppermint in my mouth and die right there.
No, sir.
Choked up.
No, sir. We can't have that. Absolutely not. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May Allah bless you. and bless the final call.
Our little brother here, his story, I don't know.
No, man, I read it.
Brother Jihad is a believer in Dallas. The brother wrote the story. He's a Muslim. He used to write for the Dallas Weekly. So now he wrote that piece for us.
Hassani?
She's a lawyer. That's a sister. She's in the mosque too, in Houston.
Is she from the Caribbean?
I don't know.
Hassani. Wow, I know a Hassani. That's a lawyer. She got her degree from the University of the West Indies, but this may not be the same.
I don't think this is I think was educated here. Yes.
We're coming together, brother, little by little.
Minister, that comment you made about the Hebrews was really so on point because you got a little group of them that's very critical. Matter of fact, they posted some really ugly stuff about you on Facebook. So me, Brother Robert from Houston, and some of the other believers been going at them. They try to go through a very literal interpretation of what they believe the scripture to be. So we asked them, well, what Bible are you reading?
Good afternoon, good afternoon. This is the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. I'm Cliff Kelly, and we are on iHeartRadio. All you need to do is download the app to your smartphone or tablet and take us with you wherever you are, wherever you're going. You can also go to WVON.com, and when you do that, we always ask that you participate in the daily listener poll and view our current video. And you can call us direct, 773-591-1690. And of course, we are continuing with this wonderful gentleman, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And we are so pleased that he has given us this time, and he's answering all the questions. We asked him, do you want to take questions? His only response was, of course. And he has been doing that. And thank you again, Brother Minister, for being here.
Thank you, sir.
You never disappoint me, that's for sure.
Thank you.
We've done this a number of times. This is a gentleman who's been holding, and he is just, I know he's saying, I hope. Brother Hall is calling from Bronzeville. Brother Hall, how you doing? That's right.
Wa alaikum salam.
Thank you, Brother Hall. That's a great question, and thank you so much for calling. You know,
Brother,
it's a great question. Some people have mentioned that. Why isn't
the FOI is out in the streets? I don't know. They're out in the worst neighborhoods trying to bring peace among those who are fighting in gang warfare. I have put thousands of messages out, and the brothers have gone in the neighborhoods knocking on doors, putting that message in the people's homes. We ask them for nothing but just to listen to the message, gather their friends, and we could do more, but we need your help as well. The lessons say, make all men and boys join the FOI and train them fast and make them brave fighters, willing at any time to give their lives for Allah's sake and righteousness. Brother, you are a natural member of the FOI, the young people that we are talking to that may be listening to this broadcast. Get on down to the mosque and let's join the FOI and let us train you quickly so we can go out into the street and stop the killing of our brothers and sisters and make our community a decent and safe place to live. But please, don't stand on the sideline and watch for us.
That's right.
Come on and join us in this magnificent effort to make our communities a safe and decent place to live. That last female caller, she asked about Muhammad's economic blueprint. We started it almost 2 years ago, and we have raised almost $2 million from the nickels, dimes, and dollars. Somebody wants to know, well, how much money is left? We have not spent one nickel or one dime. The money is there. But we need at least 10 million to start owning beautiful land. And the best land in the world is where the Jewish people came when they came from Eastern Europe. They came into the Delta, from Arkansas, Mississippi, down into Alabama and Louisiana. This is earth that's so rich, the topsoil in some places in 2 and 3 feet deep. That's where we want to own land and begin a huge, massive agribusiness concern. So let's keep those nickels. Here's the program. Elijah Muhammad said 16 million wage earners that we have now. 5 cents a day. You couldn't give your grandchild 5 cents. She'd spit on you because she can't buy nothing for 5 cents. But if you just put a nickel a day away, 16 million workers, 5 cents a day, 35 cents a week, $1.40 a month, $18.20 a year. And the total would come to $291 million in 1 year. Believe me, brothers and sisters, you can trust Farrakhan.
That's
yes,
right.
sir.
Yes,
Farrakhan is no crook, no thief.
That's
I
right.
hate crooks and thieves. And I'll put my life on the line for this and be willing to take the lives of those who are willing to steal from us.
Sir.
That's right. We're tired of it.
That's right.
So you would do that, Farrakhan? I'm submitting my life. If you catch me like that, you got permission to take my life. And since white folk want me dead anyway, but you'll never get me by being a thief.
That's right.
Never.
You'll get me because you hate the truth that I'm speaking. But the moment you try it, I guarantee you the death that you want for me will be multiplied to you. And I just want you to try. See, so that God can show you he's with his servant.
That's right.
He's anxious to kill you, you know.
Come
Just
on,
like you're anxious to kill me.
Come on.
Oh, man, he's salivating right now.
Come on, man.
Let's take another call for the minister. We have Sister Fatima Echols from Atlanta, Georgia. Are you there? You're laughing. Are you there? You're on the air. Can you hear me? Go, yeah. All right, go right ahead.
Wa alaikum salam, sis. Sister Fatima.
We can hear you. Go right ahead.
Come on, sis.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Wa alaikum salam. and I love you as well.
Sister
And I
Fatima,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you for what you said,
That's
because about maybe 50 years ago, I was at the breakfast table with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad having coffee. He went into his pocket and he took out a gold coin. And he said, in the future, this will be the medium of exchange. At that time, gold was $35 an ounce. And now it is up to $1,200 or more an ounce. It dropped a little the other day, but as war is on the horizon, it will go back up. So yes, my dear sister, turning fiat money or fake money, as Mr. Trump likes to call it, fake news. Well, fake money is the dollar that you got in your pocket that is nothing more than paper. It's really backed by nothing. Nothing except the faith that you give to it. Boy, I bought a Cadillac, Cabriolet Cadillac in 1972 for $12,000. Look how the dollar has fallen. If you look at that movie about the rise of Las Vegas, and you could buy a home in California at that time for $50,000. You go to California now and you get a little house, you're up to $1 million over nothing. So the dollar has lost its value, and when the war comes and the dollar crashes, I want you to know, brother and sister, Elijah Muhammad taught me that when the dollar goes down, the government will go down behind the dollar. So yes, if you can get your money together, don't go and give your gold away to people coming in your neighborhood giving you paper for gold. Yes, even though your gold may be 14 karat or less, you know, but you hardly get any 18 karat gold in America. But when we go in the Middle East, the cheapest gold they got is 18 karat, then 22 karat, and the leaders over there love lots of gold. And even though the prophet didn't wear gold, they got plenty of it.
Let's go to Samuel, who's been holding. Samuel's from the south side. Go right ahead. You're on WVON with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Wa alaikum salam, sir. Thank you so very, very much. You know, it's a fool that wants to take credit where they don't deserve it. I am an instrument of God. I could do nothing without him, and I can do everything because of him. And so I know my nothingness. But as long as that one stands with me, yes, he augments zero tenfold. And so I thank Allah and I praise him all the day long. I didn't come into this studio without saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I am nothing without Allah, but with Allah no one can defeat me or you. In fact, by myself with Allah, I am the majority. And you will be the same if you put your trust in God.
Thank you so much. Let's go to Chris. Chris? Yes, go right ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Chris, you're welcome.
Thank you,
In
Brother
fact,
Chris.
I'm gonna ask him, just, what you were talking about. I thought it was very interesting, caller mentioned Netanyahu, of course, is the Israeli Prime Minister. When he was here, Brother Minister, Trump made the comment on TV when they were together that he should back off pushing the settlements in Palestine because of the fact there won't be anything left to negotiate relative to a two-state solution. That surprised the hell out of me that he said that.
Well, he's not a stupid man. He, President Barack Obama, campaigned to be Pharaoh. I didn't say to be fairer. I said to be Pharaoh. So when a black man becomes the Pharaoh of the modern Egypt, which houses in it 50 million of the children of Israel, real slaves, then you should not expect from Pharaoh, whether Pharaoh is black or white, anything more than what America has always had to offer black people. So when he got into office as Pharaoh, they called him nigger too. When he got into office, they made mockery of him and his wife as gorillas. Oh yes.
That's right.
So don't expect nothing from them. And by the way, when Netanyahu said what he said, Brother Cliff, he knows something about the future. There'll be nothing in the Middle East for them to bargain over the way things are happening now. And I'm warning Mecca, and I'm warning Tehran, and I'm warning the Muslim world in the name of Allah that the way you are going at each other to the joy of the enemy, the Quran says, hold fast to the rope of Allah, which is Islam, and be not divided. But in your division, you are hastening your destruction. So, Middle East, be ready, because Israel has no permanent home in our, listen to me good, our Holy Land. Holy Land don't belong to a white Arab or a white Jew. You are settlers on our land. Don't you forget what I'm saying, because we are the original owners of that part of the earth, and you all kicked us out and assumed our position. But now God has come, and we are coming to reclaim what belongs to us. And it's not Eretz Israel for you, it's the whole of the earth for us. 196,940,000 square miles of it all, and it all belongs to the original black man of the earth.
Thank you so much for being here, Minister Farrakhan. I got some more questions. We're out of time. When are you coming back?
Oh Lord, I want to come back, Cliff.
Yeah, I know you
but
do.
You know, after I do something like this, I gotta go home.
Well,
and
yeah,
I gotta
you can go
think
home.
about what God allowed me to say.
Yeah.
Because you know, I have a few notes, but I couldn't get to notes.
Well, I didn't get to some of my mind either. That's why you have to come back. I have some questions.
You the boss.
Okay. Love you.
Thank you. Love
Thank
you
you
too.
so much.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for giving me ear. I pray that God will let that word enter into your heart, and that you will have a transformation of mind. May God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Minister.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Chant Daddy Sim for the Tuesday night edition of Real Talk Real People. Chant Daddy welcomes Charles Lemaine III, creator of a new website that pays homage to our former president, Barack Obama. His website, HaceHistory.com, is a socio-political lifestyle brand company. Dr. Paul Phillips, founder of Better Man Than Me Foundation, speaks on the importance of pouring positive energy into our black man. all this and so much more right after me here on 6 p.m. on your favorite happy hour. So keep it right here. And in addition, we want to mention that the Red Light Camera Community Meeting tonight is at 95th and Stony Island Avenue at St. Albans Catholic Church, 9015 South Harbor. That starts now and from 6 to 7 p.m. About the red light cameras, you know. We talk about that. You want to get rid of them along with a lot of other things, of course.
Brother
And
Cliff,
we're just so appreciative of everybody being here.
I got a book for you.
Oh, you got a book for me, okay.
By Dr. Wesley Muhammad. It's called Understanding the Assault on the Black Man, Black Manhood, and Black Masculinity. This is going to the President of the United States and to those in his cabinet, that they can understand what has been going on from the U.S. government against black males. And on this coming Saturday, there'll be a Boys to Men conference at 1:30 to 6 p.m. at Mosque Mariam, 7351 South Stony Island Avenue. You all are welcome.
And leave that, Brother Minister, so I can be announcing it during the rest of the week, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the gift.
Thank you.
And
Love you.
I want to thank, love you. I want to thank our team, Robin Lewis, our news anchor, our technical producer, Joseph Luckett, and of course, our executive producer is Courtney Scott. And thanks, everybody, and keep it right here for more information. Chat Daddy will be in a minute. Thanks, everybody. Love you all. Thank you. Sorry. Good to have you back. You great. Only thing I'm missing now is a bean pie. That's right. He told him, he used to give me my own veneer.
FBI Director James Comey fired.
Okay, everybody, thank you, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Sultan!
Long walk, Bob. Long walk.
Yes, sir.